Hey there, Brian Lowry, Stoneway Financial Services, CEO and founder. And I want to talk about employee-sponsored retirement plans and the hidden fees inside of them. I know you're probably surprised there's fees in there. In fact, for years, I didn't really think there was actually fees. I thought maybe the employee handled some of those fees. Now, if you never heard me speak before, sometimes I'll break that barrier, right, and cuss a little bit, things like that, just to forewarn you, okay, because I get passionate about some of this stuff, especially when something fucking pisses me off. And I tell you right now that the fees inside 401ks, 403bs, deferred comp, they kind of irritate me, especially the benefits that you get from them. So we're going to go over this video a little bit. It was done by 60 Minutes. And I want you to watch it and see some of the clips here and then think about what's going on inside maybe your plan. All right, here we go.
The effects of the current economic crisis have touched everyone. Even if you still have a good job and a paid-up mortgage, chances are your monthly 401k statement will remind you that you've lost a good chunk of your savings.
Just real quick here. This film was done in probably 2009, 2010, something like that. I don't know the exact date, but it was right after the recession. And here's the deal, guys. Nobody goes over these kinds of things in the middle of a bull market. You don't think about fees when your money's going up. When you're making money hand over fist because the market's going up, you don't care about the fees. I understand that. But they're still there and they still drag on the performance. And here's the thing. When the market does turn and go down, because it will happen and probably pretty soon, I'm doing this video March of 2019, and I would be really surprised if we went another year and a half. That would be on the stretch. We already had a 10-year run on the market. There's just no fucking way that thing's going to keep going up like that. Even with the Fed trying to pump it up, and they are trying, believe me. The Fed is pumping money into the market constantly, trying to keep it up. But eventually, those efforts will fail, and that thing is going to fall like a ton of bricks. So what you want to be concerned about is how much fees are you paying and what are you getting for those fees? So we're going to get back to it here, but just keep in mind this video is a little old, but they didn't change anything. Nothing changed. Okay, they didn't improve or take away any of these fees or anything. The only thing that happened is that they passed a couple safe harbor acts with ERISA, and basically you want to make sure you have diversification, you have enough mutual funds to diversify your 401k, 403b, deferred comp. That's really all they did, is just give you choices, and that was already there. There's nothing new has changed. They certainly didn't take away any of the fees, just so you know.
David Ray, president of the Profit-Sharing 401k Council of America and a lobbyist for the 401k industry, says it's one that empowers people to make their own investment decisions.
401k is the absolute best way people can save for retirement. They absolutely are the best retirement vehicle we have.
Just pause here for a second. Anytime somebody says something is the best, buyer beware. Look, I'm not perfect, and none of the stuff I do is perfect. But I wouldn't say that I'm the best. I'm definitely not the best. I think I'm pretty good. I think I know what I'm doing, but I'm not the best. This guy's talking about the 401ks are the best. I just keep that in mind.
How can you say it's the best available if it has let down tens of millions of people at the time they need the money the most?
But that was not a 401k problem. That's an investment system problem. The markets go up and down, and if those people chose to take equity risk, there was a logical outcome.
Ha! What? Now, fuck this guy. Listen, here's the thing. It absolutely is a 401k problem. You have a 401k right now, and you have no one advising you on it. So he says you made the choice. Look, no offense to some of y'all, but a lot of you don't really understand investing. And so they give you a 401k with a list of mutual funds and say, here, pick the best. Or pick the one that you think. So you're talking to your neighbor in the cubicle, says, oh, you just go to the tech companies, those are great. Or, I don't know, this mutual fund, man, this is fantastic. Look, hey, listen, and it's not your fault, and it's okay. Look, I mean, it is what it is. But don't think for a second that you're qualified, most of you, to make those kinds of decisions, okay? Even guys like me, I've been in the financial industry for 17 years. I still make mistakes when I'm allocating accounts, okay? I'm not perfect. But for him to say that, it's all on you, it's all your fault, okay, that's fucking bullshit.
Brooks Hamilton has helped design retirement plans for some of the country's largest corporations.
Okay, Brooks Hamilton. So this guy designs retirement plans, okay? He's the one that puts these suckers together. Listen to what he has to say. This is big.
The fact is that the typical 401k investor is a financial novice. They don't know a stock from a line. And we give them a list of 20 or 30 mutual funds with really, really powerful names. You know, they sound like, gee, that's where I want to have my money.
What are generally the quality of the mutual funds and 401k plans?
Mediocre.
Okay, now here's something really, really important. Why are they mediocre? Well, honestly, because big companies like Fidelity, okay, Franklin Templeton, some of these big mutual fund companies, all right, they're in the business of making money. Not necessarily in the business of making you money, they're in the business of making themselves money, okay? So, and don't get me wrong, I don't think that fees are bad. Nothing in the market, nothing you invest in is free. I don't care if it's index funds, okay? I mean, the freaking NASDAQ and the NYSE are both for-profit corporations, okay? They don't do shit for free. Make sure you understand that. Nothing is free. Okay, even if you go out and you pick individual stocks, you got to pay a fee to trade those stocks, even if it's E-Trade or whatever, and then there's custodial fees in that. I mean, just nothing's free. Okay, but here's the thing. The question is what do you get for the money that you're paying? That's the most important thing. So listen a little further about these fees and about just kind of how this stuff is set up.
I'm going to be real honest with you. With half the funds on the list, really dogs, what people would characterize as dogs, shouldn't be on the list to start with.
There clearly has been a raid on these funds by the people of Wall Street, and it's cost the savers and the future retirees a lot of money that would otherwise be in their account, independent of the financial collapse.
Representative George Miller of California is chairman of the House Committee on Education and Labor and a staunch critic of the 401k industry, especially its practice of deducting more than a dozen undisclosed fees from its clients' 401k accounts.
Okay. A dozen 401k fees. Now here's the thing, most of you look at your statement and you don't see any fees. And I'm going to explain how that works, but really, real quick, okay, listen a little bit more here, but you can't see the fees because they're wrapped up inside the mutual funds that are inside your account. You might see an admin fee maybe, I don't know, I mean you might have a little bit of fees that you can actually see, but they're all inside the mutual fund. So all it does is make the mutual fund not perform as well. Okay, that's all it is. And so when the market's going up, you're not noticing it as much because frankly, it's going up. Okay, yeah, maybe it's not going up as much as the market is, but how do you know? You don't want to compare it to, okay? You'd have to look at each one of those stocks inside the mutual fund and compare what the average price was for all of those in order to compare the mutual fund to the actual stocks it owns. What you would see if you were to do that is you're going to see a huge difference in over time, especially. He's going to go over this, okay? Some of these fees in the mutual funds can extend beyond 2.5%. Now look, I'm a money manager, and we charge a fee about 2%. So you're thinking, well, is there something wrong with charging 2%? I don't think there's anything wrong with it as long as there's performance to justify it. As an example, the money management company Fusion that I deal with, okay, they've more than doubled the market's returns since 2007. So they've justified, I mean more than doubled the S&P 500's returns from 2007 to 2018, and more than justify a 2% fee. And that doubling is actually including the fee, minus the fee out. Okay, but if you're not beating the market and you're paying a fee, what are you paying the fee for? That's my question. I got nothing against fees, but what are you paying the fee for? So if your 401k is charging you on average about 2%, same as I charge, what are you getting for the 2%? Are you getting performance? Are you getting help choosing the mutual funds that you should have? All these kinds of things. From my experience, you get none of that. You literally get an account. It has a list of mutual funds, and they say, "Oh, just pick a couple, and you'll be good to go." That's what they. Or worse, the worst mutual fund. Just say if you're looking at your 401k, okay, the worst funds inside there are the retire at 220. retire at 230, retire at 240. Why are those bad? Because they're a fund of funds. So not only are you paying fees on the individual funds, and then you pay another fee on the overall fund. Those things are freaking terrible, and they're really not managed that well. Don't buy into the fact that those things are managed well, because they are not.
Now you got a bunch of economic wizards jumping in and taking money out of your retirement plan, and they don't want to tell you how much. You can't decipher it in simple English, and they're not interested in disclosing it or having any transparency about it.
And most of the people that look at their 401ks have no idea that these fees are being taken out.
No. Where would you find it? Where would you find these fees in this prospectus? You can look on any page you want, and when you're all done reading it, and you will find some of the fees and the commissions here, but you won't find them all, and I bet you won't find half of them.
There are legal fees, trustee fees, transactional fees, stewardship fees, bookkeeping fees, finder's fees, and the list goes on and on. Miller's committee has heard testimony that they can eat up half the income in some 401k plans over a 30-year span, but he has not been able to stop it.
We tried to just put in some disclosure and transparency in these fees, and we felt the full fury of that financial lobby.
You think most people know these fees exist?
I think they know that there are fees. They don't know exactly how large they are.
I disagree. I think most people honestly don't think there are fees in their 401k. I really don't think they do. Maybe you do. But wake up call. Yeah, there's fucking fees inside your 401k. And they're not just small, they're high. Okay? So, you can go to bed tonight knowing, yeah, there's fees in my 401k and I cannot avoid them. The only thing you can do to avoid them is move the money outside of the 401k and into an IRA. Now, when you move into an IRA, are you going to pay fees? Yes, you're going to pay fees. But what the difference is that those fees are going to be disclosed to you. There's going to be a little thing called transparency. For example, if you came and did business with me, right, I'm going to tell you exactly what the fee is. Hey, the fee is going to be, well, it depends on what we do, but if it's managed money, the fee is going to be 2%. That's what it'll be annually, okay? And then we got to decide, well, is that 2% worth investing with me? That's the question. If I can't beat the S&P 500 minus the fee, if you're somebody looking for growth, okay, then it isn't worth it, okay? I mean, that's the truth, right? Now, over time, right, you got to be able to beat otherwise, you just throw it in an index fund and say, hey, no big deal, let it ride. Okay, but getting advice is important, because a lot of people, they get hammered. They got a plan for retirement. You get hammered if you get into a recession before you go into retirement. You're fucked. I mean, we saw it in 08. I had many clients that I saw that became clients of mine. And I was new in the industry back in 2008. Okay, I'd only been in the industry for 5 or 6 years. I hadn't seen a big recession yet. And man, these guys got fucking hammered. Okay, and then they're like, well, I can't retire now. No, you can't. No, you can't, because you lost half your balance. And it took, until 2014 for it to come back. So that's a 6-year extension on their retirement. Not only that, when it got to 2014, things got a little more expensive. Okay, so they had to work even longer. I saw some work all the way till 2010. In fact, I had a client that just retired here last year. He went all the way to 2018 before he retired. It's just because of the way the market worked and the decisions that he had made early on in his investment, with his investment strategy. So look, here's the deal though. The reason I'm doing this video is just purely as education. Okay, what you do with this information is up to you. I'm going to say that right now. But just know that your 401k, it ain't free. Okay, it isn't even close to free. And you need to decide, in my opinion, you need to decide whether the fees are worth the benefits. In other words, are you getting benefits out of the 401k that are worth paying the fees that you're paying?
Why do you think the financial services industry is opposed to fee transparency?
I don't know that they're opposed to it. I think the issue is...
You don't think they're opposed to it?
Well...
Yeah, the industry is opposed to transparency. Come on, give me a fucking break. The industry is adamantly opposed to transparency. Come on, listen, 401ks are profitable for every custodian that offers them, because they can charge you fees and not fucking tell you about them. Sounds like a profitable deal to me.
They want to keep.
You're a lobbyist in Washington, right? You know they're opposed to it. George Miller hasn't been able to get a bill to the floor.
I think they want to keep the systems as simple and not make changes. They like the way things are, and whenever you push people out of their comfort zones, you know, it's an issue.
I mean, they're comfortable with the situation because they're making a ton of money, or they have made a ton of money.
For more information on your 401.
Exactly. They like things the way they are because they're making money with the way they are. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that Fidelity and American Funds and some of those big 401k providers, I think they should make money. Okay, great. They should make money. But I think if they're going to continue to charge those kind of fees, they should also offer some advice. They should tell you which mutual funds you should be choosing. They should, you know, I don't know, they do some stuff to help you personally figure out how to set up your 401k. Otherwise, what the fuck are they charging you the fees for? So at any rate, that's all I got, guys. I just wanted to really quickly go through this, and yeah, I'm passionate about it for sure, because in my mind, it's like, look, they charge roughly about the same fees I charge, and yet I deal with my clients, you know, on a personal level. We look at their what we're doing, what the strategy is, and the goal, of course, is to do better than they would do on their own. If you as a client do better than what you would do on your own, that's the whole goal. And if I can't do that, it's not worth paying any fees for. Simple as that. All right, guys, have a great day.